Remember Yaqub Menon, Burhan Wani, Afzal Guru. Remember what they all had in common. Apart from the obvious religious identity, all were victims according to the liberal media, and the opposition political parties all were paraded as victims and used to lure votes from the minority community. And now, with 2022 UP elections fast approaching, the parties contesting against Yogi Adityanath have similarly started to use the caste identity of Hindus and specifically the Brahmins to get their votes. The caste identity of notorious gangster Vikas Dubey is being used to create a narrative that he was a victim and that Brahmins should throw out a so-called anti-Brahmin party, BJP, out of the state. However, Brahmin voters are not like the Muslim vote bank, and the bid to appease them by bringing up Vikas Dubey's death is going to backfire for man political parties which are trying to make mark ahead of the Uttar Pradesh elections. Hi and welcome. You're watching TFI English, the national and socio-political analysis arm of the TFI Media Group. I'm your host Diksha, and in this video, I will tell you how the opposition parties in Uttar Pradesh have started playing the Brahmin card against Yogi Adityanath. Let's begin. Brahmin and Brahmin vote bank is the flavor of the season. Opposition political parties in Uttar Pradesh ahead of next year's assembly elections have collectively started to serenade Hindus and especially Brahmins. However, their habits and their modus operandi to garner the votes remain eerily similar to the aberrant style of Muslim appeasement, meaning they are asking for votes by victimizing the Brahmin community and singling out the Brahmin outlaws as the ones being unfairly targeted by the Yogi Adityanath administration. Unfortunately for them, Brahmin voters do not have a high tendency towards being sympathetic towards criminals from the same community. And unlike the Muslim vote bank, they disown criminals such as Vikas Dubey instead of appearing at their funeral processions. As reported by TFI, BSP last week started a Brahmin conference in the holy city of Ayodhya, aimed at bringing the Brahmin community into the fold. Mayawati's Brahmin outreach program was held by party's General Secretary and Brahmin face, Satish Chandra Mishra, who paid obeisance at the makeshift shrine of Ram Lala in the temple city before kick-starting the Sammelan. But the Sammelan is a failed approach. Mere photo ops will not entice Brahmin voters. Ever since the Ram Mandir construction started, parties like BSP that used to treat Hindu votes like an afterthought are making themselves appear as the biggest Ram Bhakt. However, more peculiarly, the opposition is now evoking Vikas Dubey, the notorious Brahmin gangster, as the unfair victim of Yogi's onslaught on the criminals. Recently, BSP's Brahmin face and senior lawyer Satish Mishra took up the legal battle to secure bail for the 17-year-old widow of slain Brahmin gangster Vikas Dubey's nephew, Amar, who too was shot in an encounter after the Bikru massacre. It is an interesting development because Satish Mishra or BSP did not think of aiding Khushi the past year. However, with elections approaching and BSP battling for survival by gambling on the Brahmin vote bank, it makes sense, at least according to the BSP think tank, to help the kin of the Brahmin gangster. It is a usual trope in minority appeasement that criminals are provided with a deep sob story to create a false sense of victimhood, which is later connected to the religious identity. And in most cases, the Muslims and other minority communities chuck down this trope in overwhelming quantities. But that, unfortunately, isn't the case with Hindus, as BSP likes to believe. If we rewind the clock, when Hizbul terrorist Riaz Naiku was slaughtered by the security forces, we would remember how the entire left liberal ecosystem was sympathizing with Naiku. India's mainstream media outlets and terror romanticists couldn't stop making a benign mathematics teacher out of a brutal terrorist. The same thing happened when another Hizbul commander, Burhan Wani, was killed in 2016. Even then, the elitist intelligentsia suffered from definitional issues. However, Vikas Dubey was a notorious gangster, charged in 60 criminal cases, including serious offences like murder, kidnapping, extortion and rioting. He murdered 8 officers in a shootout in cold blood. While he was arrested and later killed in the encounter, one did not see a single Hindu invoking his caste, that is Brahmin identity, and presenting him as a victim. In fact, the Hindus battled on the front and cheered for the Yogi Adityanath administration for its swift justice process. While BSP is trying to present Dubey as a victim in the backdrop of the Brahmin Sammelan, SP Supremo Akhilesh Yadav had last year started playing the same tune. The former CM unashamedly called Dubey an innocent man. क्या निर्दोष आदमी को मारना, custodial death हो जाना, ये कानून व्यवस्था कहेंगे आप? While Akhilesh is sorting the mess in his family and is comparatively less active in the state politics, one can be assured that he will pick up from where he left, and that is using the Brahmin identity of Dubey to entice gullible Brahmins to his corner. Similarly, Aam Aadmi Party, which is trying to find its footings in UP, has tried to milk the issue as well. Party's UP in charge Sanjay Singh last month chaperoned jailed Khushi Dubey's mother before newsmen in a press conference in Lucknow and demanded that Khushi and 3 other women and a minor child languishing in jail be set free. Left liberal publications like The Print had last year published op-eds with the headlines Vikas Dubey's death is the perfect launchpad for Akhilesh Yadav to mount 2022 UP race, to give a blueprint to the opposition on how to attack Yogi. A year late, but the opposition has started its campaign and it is trying to tap into the persecution complex of Brahmins under the Yogi government. But the truth is that such a complex does not exist.